Hi YouTube, we're here with a special unboxing video. It's big, it's exciting. You're gonna know what it is as soon as I point this end at you. This is the Timber from Horizon Hobby. I've been wanting to get this plane for some time. 15% off right now on sport planes at hobbyzone.com, which is a Minnesota-based company, I believe. I bought some stuff from them, including the Inductrix, which is right here. And what else did I got? The Elite, which I have not really flown because I found out I can't fly it in my living room. I was really disappointed. Ooh, look at that beautiful thing. Got the packing list here. Shows the items. I got 2 extra propellers. So $37.50 off of this plane for 15% off. They also had a 10% off coupon code. That's hobbyzone.com. So anyway, pretty exciting stuff, guys. Oh, look at that. Look at that beautiful plane. Oh, we got damage on the box, guys. That is not cool at all. You guys see that? Got a little damage here. I'm going to pull this out. I'm assuming that the damage is just superficial, but it could actually be damaged. That would be very unfortunate. Just going to lay this to the side. Kids will love playing with that. There's even tape on it. What the heck? As you can see, pretty standard size for Horizon Hobby product. This is an E-Flight variation. Horizon Hobby Timber. This is going to be a 1.5 meter size. And I'm a little nervous about the damage. The damage is pretty minimal though. Let's see if you guys can get it. Can they see it in that, you think?
Yeah, you can kind of see the crease there. Yep.
Tape. There's a big piece of packing tape here.
Oh, yep.
So what we're going to do is, first thing we're going to do is we're going to open it up. Probably what happened is they just got a little excited when they opened this up to put my propellers in there, and they just ripped it. Because I ordered a spare prop for this, and then I ordered a prop for my J3 Cub. Okay, so it looks like it just slides out. Oh man, that thing does not want to come out.
You want to?
Holy crap. And what the heck? The prop is sticking down here, guys. Look at that. That makes me more nervous too.
Wait, can't see it. Okay.
That's not cool at all. Hope they didn't screw with this thing. Trying to get my stupid propeller in there. That's going to tick me off. Oh man, that thing is hard to get out. I've broken the foam. I'm just trying to hold on to it while I'm pulling it out of here. It's ridiculous. Okay, so there's damage from pulling it out. Then there's damage over here, which is going to be the most damage I've ever had, even coming from China, on interior packaging. So I'm quite nervous. And I also haven't found my prop yet, but I have seen the prop for the plane sticking out the bottom and protruding out beyond the edge of the packaging, which really makes me wonder if this freaking plane is going to be screwed up. And I'm not real excited about that. Kind of making me not so happy. See, it fell back down. Maybe it's just shifted, guys. I can't tell what side the top is. Uh-oh. 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 It's been repackaged. That always makes me nervous. That, not so much usually happening in the factories. Possible. Okay, so we're just gonna cut this here. We're gonna cut this here. I don't want to peel it off. There's a little hole to get your finger in, or a hole where somebody else has already done that. Okay, so we got the cardboard. This looks like it might be the top. Man, there's damage on the bottom of this thing too. What the heck? Look at the damage in there, guys. There's damage there. This thing looks like it's just strewn in there. Not real promising so far, guys. And I am not in the mood to fight with Horizon Hobby right now because they're kind of on my crap list still. Okay, this doesn't look like it's damaged. Maybe. This doesn't look like it's damaged. This would be a landing gear. Big. It's kind of like a softer foam. I wouldn't call it squishy, but it's a little bit more squishy. It smells kind of different. They got Nylox holding these things on, and there's Nylock material shooting out. That's kind of weird. This makes me nervous here because this is, the prop is turned. It's got a little bit of superficial damage on it, but it's not damage from the box that I can tell. These are the LEDs that come with it, factory installed. Some glue pooped out around it. The wings are supposed to be removable on this. Why is there a big black mark on there like it's been used? You see that?
Yeah. Here.
See that, guys?
Wait, hold on.
Why is there a hole like it's been put together and then packaged back up? I'm getting a little nervous about this plane, as though it's maybe been returned or something, and then I just got sloppy seconds from somebody who repacked it. The prop looks to be in one piece. The marks on it are just a static electricity holding styrofoam to it. But so far it looks okay. Well, the control rod is bent, but that may be bent intentionally. I think that this is going to attach to our elevator, and this is attached to just the rudder. I hate having to do that. I straightened the rudder. It was just turned to the side. I can't see damage yet. I'm going to unwrap these for you here in a minute, but I'm just kind of taking one piece out at a time. And this box is really good at obstructing the color of everything, because this comes with floats, comes with steerable floats, spring loaded, so they go out of the way if you hit some, reeds in the water or a twig or something like that. Just give you guys a shot of this. I'm sort of reluctant to open this all up before I get the fuse opened. I'm looking for my parts that I ordered too. Guys, the box is broken here and here. It's really weird. I'm not used to seeing broken packaging from any of the aircraft manufacturers. So, I mean, it's one thing when you got like one little wall that's broken, but this is broken inside the box, which is very strange. I've not seen that much. And what makes me the most nervous is that big black mark, like somebody's put it together and then taken it apart. Maybe that's a quality assurance thing. I doubt it. Okay, so there's either a wing missing or there's a wing on the other side. My guess is the wing is on the other side.
I see foam, like that packaging stuff.
Yeah, it looks like it's on the other side. There's some landing gear material I gotta get out first.
Oh.
These are the landing struts, which have a little bit of play to them. They're painted, and then the paint stops on the ends, presumably where they're not packaged apart, so the paint has chipped because they're touching one another inside the package. Those are what you adapt the floats on with. Looks like there's some wing struts down here. The wing struts look like an aluminum tube that's pinched on the end, finished off nice. Look like they're aluminum though. Doesn't have a finish on it, just aluminum. Okay, so everything's out. Before you flip this, guys, just looking at this damage, broken here, and blown out. Not just broken, but blown out, totally. Oh, there's my spare parts. Okay, so what that tells me is that, okay, this is the prop I got. This a 12 by 4 prop. It was only like $5, so I just went ahead and got that. And then I also got a 5.75 by 2.5 prop, which is incidentally the prop that's used for the J3 Cup. So I replaced it with another size, and I wasn't happy with the performance, so that's for that plane. So I'm just gonna keep going. Whoa, there's a screw here. That's always really disconcerting when you find a screw that randomly comes out of the packaging. That makes me very nervous. You know, guys, I think that screw might actually be part of this prop, because there's a bit of a hole in the sack here, so I'm thinking that this screw must go in to retain that. I wonder if that's where it came from. I'm just going to slap a piece of tape on it right now to keep it with that bag. Boy, this is kind of a stressful unboxing. I'm not used to having so many questions as I unbox. If you're watching this Hobby Zone, you might want to talk to your people who packed this, because evidently they ripped this open to get my parts in there. Probably not a good idea. Bottom piece of cardboard for protecting and holding everything in. I'm really hoping that this is just damage from the guys that repacked it. Kind of pisses me off, but what are you going to do? Return it? Maybe. Okay, so I noticed that it was sloppy on a guy. I saw a guy fly it. There's this unfinished, unkept edge on all of the leading edges. Like they haven't trimmed them quite as good as usual. Which honestly, guys, this is a little bit lower price point. And look, the hinges are embedded in the foam, which is really cool. I like that a lot. I don't like that noise. That noise is okay. It's just part of the hinge mechanism. But it's much better than having a foam hinge. And you can see that it does appear to be intact, but like this pinch point where they pinched, you can see there's extra material in there, which is kind of weird.
It was really sloppy.
It's very sloppy looking for a leading edge, but that's, you guys got to remember, this is a little bit lower price point. It's not a $300 plane or a $280 plane. This is a $250 plane that comes with floats, and it's got LEDs and everything installed. So I mean, we got to be at least somewhat reasonable with them. I'm actually more concerned about the packaging being broken than anything else right now, because it makes me wonder if other things are going to be bad and broken that I don't know about, that I haven't seen yet. So this will be the horizontal stabilizer in the elevator. Okay, the other wing is in here way better. So I'm fairly confident that whoever packed this just did a really piss poor job. And that's how it got damaged. There's a whole lot less material in this than would typically be. Okay, so this is the rod. This would be a carbon fiber rod. It's got a little bit of a bevel on it on both sides, so it looks clean. I don't see any score marks, which leads me to believe that it probably hasn't been inserted into the wing. Again, if I was buying a refurbished plane or like a scratch and dent plane, then I wouldn't care, but this is supposed to be new. So these are the leading edge slats. Leading edge slats are the easy way to explain it for those of you who may not know what that is, which I'm guessing if you're watching this video you do. Leading edge slat is flap on the front of the wing. Usually it mimics the shape of the wing, and it increases the angle of attack before you stall the wing. And what that means is that you can point the plane up at a steep angle before you stall the wing itself, not stall the whole plane, but the wing. So what it is it's just a simple small wing. and this will actually mount to the leading edge of the wing. Funny thing is, this leading edge slats are, you know, just kind of a rickety little thing. But you know what? This got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mounting points for each wing. These are going to be delicate though, guys, so you'll want to be careful about those. They're actually packaged better than some of the other pieces, mostly because they need to. I'm just going to start plopping this stuff down here. Okay, so let's, that looks like that's everything from the package. And part of the reason this package broke, guys, is it's not very thick. I mean, it's one of the thinner boxes I've seen. So they're really depending on the strength of the plane itself within the package to help act as packaging. And I suppose it is made of foam, so I'm not real happy. I can't believe how not braced the fuselage was. So let's just open these pieces up one at a time, and we'll see if there's any other signs of damage. I'm guessing that what we found was isolated to just the way that they had packed my extra prop in there. And that's one thing you'll get when you order online. You'll sometimes find that the online retailers, I mean, they have to work pretty quick to try to make money, since they're doing it for 15% off, and they're doing it for like the lowest price on the books, essentially. That is a big carbon fiber spar. Good Lord. This thing probably weighs as much as a UMX plane. I bet it's got to weigh like 30 grams. Let's pause it. Let's see how much it weighs. Okay, so we got the scale zeroed. Whoa, that's 47 grams. This weighs half as much as one of my UMX planes. That's just the carbon fiber spar. I mean, it's a 1,500 millimeters wingspan, so it's a sizable plane, or it will be a sizable plane. And one thing that really drew me to this plane was, man, look at that big old scrape on the foam. I hate it when they do that. Big old scrape. That's why they have to brace these things in there. And then look at that sloppy. They just don't have their molds very tight on this one. You see that?
It's really hard to see.
It's hard to see, but here, I'll rip it off.
I can tell, yeah, it's all like fuzzy.
It's just like one little piece. It's little pieces. And then there's dings all the way along the wing. That's a bummer. But then they go through the trouble of making pockets for the servos, and then they allow that in their molding process. I don't understand it, guys. Beautiful. Look at that. It's got wash, so it's got this little piece that shoots through, and then it's got instead of just being an articulation point, it's actually got a pocket that it goes into. That is sweet. And then Fowler flaps, so they go down and away, so they allow air to come up and under. So
is the hole on that end black on that one?
Yeah, it is. I don't know, maybe they just have a jig. Maybe they make sure everything fits together before they pack it up. Maybe somebody bought this, crashed it, and then returned it. If they crashed it, they didn't do much damage that I can see yet. Problem is, you can crash a plane and not do damage. I don't see any other signs that it's been damaged. Oh, and here's another carbon fiber spar. So this carbon fiber spar would be for the tail. Yeah, it looks like it's going to go right through there. But you can see that it's not going to go very far into it. So, moving along. So we got one wing opened. Let's go ahead and open the fuse. That is a really big rudder. I'm excited to see how that's going to look. Big old LEDs here. Look like they're about 5 millimeters. They're not 5 millimeters. They're like 8 millimeters. Kind of a weird size. It's an in-between size. I've seen 10, I've seen 5, I've seen 3. I don't know what size they are. Okay, so we're just cutting this. Good quality rear tire. It's going to be noisy still. That's fine. I can live with that. Okay, so I'm just using my blade to cut away from this. Okay, so unfolding that, first thing I notice is this big anti-crash beacon on the bottom and on the top. And they used a really lightweight motor winding. What the heck? heck? Looks like the ESC's popped up and out. It's got an AS3X receiver, DSMX Air 636A, 636A rather. And can they see in there to where that ESC is?
Not very. Yeah, here, hold still.
You guys see that ESC in there? I don't know if it's just not in there straight or if it's like not supposed to be in there straight. But it's just kind of like cockeyed in there, and I'm not sure why that is. I'm probably going to take a tool like this tool, and I'm just going to try to see if it'll move. Yeah, it moves free. I don't know, probably just a shipping thing, I'm hoping, I'm assuming. And it looks like they used 9-gram servos on the elevator, and they've got control rods go all the way back on the elevator and rudder. Looks like there is a little controller module for the LEDs here that comes off of the receiver. And it looks like there's also a Y cable to receive the wings. And then there's 3 wires that go up front. I don't know what those are going up front for. I have to assume it's for the lights, but I don't know that for a fact. The motor is an E-Flight EFLM 1080 18, which is a 1200 kV motor. So we'll see how that works. Again, somewhat sloppy on the leading edge here. We got a little bit of glue, and I'm not sure why there's glue there, but it's kind of strange. Oh, that's because the way they mount the hinges is also the same. It's embedded into the actual foam, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm sure a lot of these details, guys, are not going to be an issue in flight. This has a release of some sort here. A bunch of like dings and dents all over around this thing, which is kind of ridiculous. Okay, so that evidently opens. So that pops down. Oh, okay, yeah. So that's where your battery is going to go. Which, geez, that's not a very big battery hatch. I bet, so this must be for a 2200 3S. And, which is fine. It's way forward on the plane. But it does have a huge cavity, goes way up inside of here. And it looks like you could get a way bigger battery in there, I'm sure. But I was planning on using 2200 3S. I'm sure you guys might have actually used bigger ones, but just for grins and giggles, let's try to put a 4000 milliamp 4S in there. 4000 milliamp 4S, which, just for those of you who don't know anything about this hobby yet, or you're just learning, this is a 2200 3S. This is a 4000 milliamp 4S, meaning it's got one extra cell, and each of the cells is 4000. This has 3 cells, and each of them are 2200. So you can see the difference is darn near twice the size. So let's just see if we can fit the 4000 in there just for extra grins and giggles. It'll probably screw up the CG, the center of gravity. But if a guy was motivated, you'd have to take out these straps, and you'd have to rearrange the power cables a little bit, the takeoff. You're going to have a hard time getting it in, the 4000. But that is kind of a stretch. The 2200 should be a really, really easy fit. And the other thing that's nice about that is this would arguably be in the splash zone. So we're going to have to see how much water gets washed into this hole here. There's a hole here that allows for ventilation. So we'll have to wait and see. And there you can see the ESC from the bottom now. So real quick, I'll give you a close-up of this. This hatch, can you see that good? This hatch goes in here, and it's just foam on the front part, which is not so great. They have this really robust latching mechanism here, which is really cool. And then it springs it out. And you know what's nice about this too, guys, is that with the floats attached, you're going to be able to get at it easy because the floats are going to be here and here. Sometimes when the battery hatches are centrally located, it's very difficult to get in and around all the framework. So yeah, you could get a bigger battery in there, but oh, did you notice what just happened?
Released.
It just released it. So we'll just unrelease it there. So one thing I have to do on my plane is that's annoying. I have to switch to an XT60 connector so that I can use my batteries from Hobby King. But if you guys are using a Horizon Hobby product and you want to stick with the factories, it's going to be an EC3 connector, and that of course is going to be pretty huge current rating there. Should be able to get away with whatever you want there. Okay, let's continue on to the landing gear. We've already showed you one wing. We'll just in a minute we'll go ahead and get that unpacked. But for now, we'll probably unpause it after we'll pause it up so you don't have to watch me unwrap it all. Okay, plastic, decorative, thin plastic, braced. Looks like galvanized steel or aluminum. Nah, that's probably steel. That's kind of strange to see a steel strut like that on an airplane. That might be aluminum. But then this spring mechanism has supposedly been a thing of contention for Horizon. They've had 2 different generations. This is probably the 2nd generation. Now these are designed to splay out when you come in for a landing. They'll actually bounce out and then rebound. And it's got a pretty complicated system that looks like here. Looks like this is on a pivot. Can you see that in the video at all? Can you try to zoom in a little bit?
Zoom in, yeah.
You see that pivot, guys? That's going to allow the landing gear, once braced on there, to then pivot in and out, which is really cool. It's going to help a lot with landings. But from what I understand, I've seen it firsthand on these timbers, that these tires still like to chatter on the ground. So at some point I might be doing some sort of a mod to put on like a rubber tire. How we doing on time and stuff?
About 5 minutes.
5 minutes in?
No, left.
Oh, okay. All right,
You're
so
27 minutes in.
we're gonna pause this and we're gonna come back when I get the last couple of items unpacked, and I'll give you a close-up of those as well.
Okay.
Okay, YouTube. We noticed something we missed when we were unpacking. It's right here. Basically, this is a bolt pack, and this has got a bunch of little accessories that you're going to need, and I missed it. And I got to a spot in the manual. I was searching through the manual saying, it seems like I'm missing something. Well, I was missing something, and it was all this stuff. It's got the bind plug screws for cover plates. It looks like it's also got, it's supposed to have some wire in here. I haven't found that wire yet. It's got a couple of long plastic screws. What concerns me is that this thing looks like it's been, certain aspects, it's got telltale signs it's been used before, and one of the telltale signs is that these things are just like immediately falling off. Like, I'm not even hardly moving them. So I don't know if that's a fluke or if it's been glued and then taken back off or what the deal is, but it's got me concerned. And so as I look at the leading edge slats look clean. So I don't know if it's just a manufacturing flaw or what the deal is, but I'm always really nervous. If I got a plane that's been returned, it was returned for a reason. And it just makes me really nervous. So anyway, I'm going to keep going on this. I just wanted to show you where I found that stuff. It was down on the end of the box. It was very easy to miss. And I'm sure I would have eventually found it. But I'm still missing, there's supposed to be a wire, which is how you attach your rudder to the water rudders that are on here. So I suppose that could be taped up inside of here somewhere. Why don't we pause and we'll check. Okay guys, I found the wire. It's actually taped. It's not a wire also, it's just a, like, fishing line, yeah, like thick fishing line. And they've got a hook that's actually stowed in the side here. And that hook comes out, and then you hook it onto this, and then that's how you control your water rudders, which is pretty awesome. They are spring-loaded, both of them. Really, a lot of features, but then some of the details like this You're not going to be able to see it in the video, but there's like an open seam here, which I guarantee that's not by design, because this thing's probably going to leak. So, I mean, it's not going to leak to the extent that it's not going to flow, because these are hollow, and they're very light. Very light. These things probably weigh less than the carbon fiber spar, which is nuts. But if you've ever used floats on a, like an E-Fly plane or whatever, they're always really, really, really weak. If you like flying off snow and stuff, just be careful that it's soft snow because you'll break them really quick. And they've got a little splash guard on there, which that is really cool. That was a good idea on both sides. So it goes like this. The decals, they go out. So really excited to see how it looks when it goes together. I mean, I already know how it's going to look. I've seen it before, but I'm excited to see the way it looks when I'm done putting it together. And it's going to fly great. Next up is going to be the build video. The build video for this is going to be pretty self-explanatory. If you got a manual and you got a couple of screwdrivers, you should be able to put it together fairly easy. But we always seem to run into weird little glitches as we're putting these things together, even from Horizon Hobby.